So I started presenting to the South Bay Bogleheads chapter when I was working in San Jose. I came back to present a couple more times after the pandemic. Then the meeting changed from in person to Zoom from different places. So Gene and Greg knew that I was moved around a little bit. So after I presented last time in June about automate, simplify, and get on with life, they asked me whether I could talk about my moving. So today's topic is about choosing where to live after retirement. So this is more about long distance moves, moving from one city to another, or staying where you are, versus just changing your housing arrangements locally. It's intended for people who are close to retirement or early in retirement, contemplating maybe moving somewhere or whether you should stay. So disclaimer, I lived in 5 houses in 3 states in the last 6 years, from 2018 to now. That's California, Nevada, and Utah, where I'm currently residing. That feels like a lot, but still, we're talking about low single digits. I didn't, it's a big country. I don't have any experience living in many other places in the country. So take what I share today as just a personal journey, personal experience. Um, and unlike what I presented last in previous times, this is highly biased, I should say, based on my personal experience and personal opinion, personal preferences, versus investing or even checking accounts, credit cards, and those type of things. Those have some factual basis. These are highly personalized. So Greg read my about page, so you already know a little bit about my personal journey. My journey in the U.S. Started with Ohio. Started in Ohio, so I went to graduate school there. I didn't have many choices because I couldn't afford the tuition. I could only go to any school that awarded me a full scholarship. So that school took a chance on me, gave me a scholarship. I studied there. After I graduated, I had only one job offer. It was from a manufacturer in Tennessee. They were expanding internationally, so they wanted to hire an international graduate to add some diversity to their workforce. So in a sense, I was a DEI hire. I was assigned to the employee benefits department, where I first got in touch with employee benefits, pension, 401k, health insurance, life insurance, and so on. So that got me started on this whole thing. So based on what you see today, I would say I was qualified for that job. When my wife graduated, she had a job offer in San Jose, California. So I figured it'll be easier because I already have some work experience for me to move to San Jose than for her to find a job in Tennessee. So I moved with her to San Jose. I'm talking to people from San Jose, Sacramento, Bogleheads, and also I know there is some people outside of California. For those people who don't know about California, you probably know San Francisco more, but San Jose is actually the larger of the two cities, both in terms of population and in terms of the geographical area. Um, Tech jobs, Google, Facebook, NVIDIA, uh, they're all closer to San Jose than to San Francisco. So great place to work. And the platform that we're using today, Zoom. Zoom is based in San Jose. So changed jobs a couple more times. We both, she left her job in 2015. I left my job in 2018. And then after that, we were thinking, where should we stay? Should we go? Does this place fit what we want to, how we want to live? So after some time, our first stop was in Reno, Nevada. We moved March 1st, 2020, right before the pandemic. We stayed there for about a year and a half, and then we moved again in October 2021 to our current place in Utah, in the greater Salt Lake City area. So I think my journey is maybe somewhat typical. Before you retire, you move for education, you move for job opportunities. After you retire, then you may re-examine, is this the place I want to stay for my retirement? Um, so to some extent, remote work has that give that opportunity as well. If you are secured with a remote work opportunity, then you can also choose where you live. This is apparent very popular among retirees. So the usual places that rate colleges, they also publish these rankings. Best places to retire. So U.S. News and World Report has one, Niche has one. Based on my experience so far, I don't find any value in these listings. So just for kicks, I loaded the top 50 best places to retire from US News. So you can see from this map, it's nothing in the whole western half of the United States. Really? Nowhere to go. Okay. So then I loaded same listing from Niche, and this is even more ridiculous. It's saying basically saying go to Florida. Uh, everywhere, I mean, just far and in between. So then I asked ChatGPT, what should I consider if I go, if I retire, I wanted whether I should stay here or move somewhere. So it gave me 12 factors. Each factor has two or three sub points. And if I really have to analyze all 12 factors and all the sub factors, I'd probably still be in San Jose today. Based on my the last 6 years, I would say just have an overriding principle, and that is prioritize life over money. Life is more important when you choose where to live after you retire. Money factors should be secondary. So if we adopt this lens to examine all these 12 factors, then we should see cost of living, that's money. Okay, healthcare facilities can be important depending on your health conditions. I'm still young, I'm in my 50s, and I trust doctors in any place can treat whatever condition that I come up with. If I really develop some kind of problems, then I can move again to find the place that can treat me. Um, this also depends on whether you're talking about a larger metropolitan area or a small town or a state that's less populated. So it just depends on your health conditions. Um, climate and weather, sorry, climate and weather, that's also personal, that's life. Personally, I cannot deal with heat. I can understand how someone can live in Arizona with 100 degrees, 100 days and on end. Um, but I can understand some other people may not understand how I can live in a cold environment when it's 10 degrees below zero in winter. So that's just personal. You can choose where you want to live based on your personal preference. Family and friends, this is super important. You have family and friends that you develop relationship with. That's life. So I would keep that as maybe my number one factor or number two factor to consider. You probably also heard of a Harvard study. They say the deep relationship that you develop during life has a very strong relationship with your well-being. Lifestyle and activities. This is us. We don't have family in the country. We have friends, but we have strong preferences over our lifestyle and activities. So between my wife and I, we like skiing in the winter and hiking in the summer. So we want to live in a place that's close to skiing and hiking activities. Um, Safety and crime. Um, I'm not considering that in my first cut because there are safe places in everywhere and there are high crime places in everywhere. So if you're only choosing an area, you're talking about Oregon versus California versus Arizona, then you cannot just say Arizona is not safe or Oregon is not safe. Anywhere you can find safe places. So maybe it becomes a factor once you get into the local area. There are neighborhoods and that's safer than others. Housing options. I'm also not considering that as in the first cut because again, there are big houses in some places, there are small houses in some places. So you can't say just everywhere there are, whether you prefer a big house or a small condo, you can probably find in any area that you're looking for. State and local laws. So I lived in three states. California is a blue state, Nevada is a swing state, Utah is a red state. State laws are different. I vote accordingly. I have my opinion, but they're not affecting me personally enough for me to write off the entire state or entire area only because it's a red state or a blue state or vice versa. Public services and amenities. I'm not using any public services, so those are not important to me. But if you have a special need child that relies on public services, then maybe that's a factor. Employment, volunteers, opportunities. Again, I'm self-employed, so I'm not looking for employment opportunities. I'm not working part-time at a employer, so I'm not using that as my first cut criteria. Social and cultural environment. This is important. You want to be in a place where that's not hostile to you, so you want to take that into consideration. Retirement benefits and discounts, again, that's money. I want to prioritize life over money, so I'm writing that off, at least in my first cut. Um, Once you use those factors to identify some areas, then you can narrow down your choices. There are a number of online resources. I use the Census Bureau profiles a lot when I selected the area where I want to live. Census Bureau keeps all kinds of statistics. Among those, population obviously is a good stat. There are large metropolitan areas, medium-sized cities, and small towns. And then I look at median household income. Rightly or wrongly, median household income is related to economic development in that area. So you can also see uh, people vote with their wallet. So high income people tend to congregate in places where high income people also like. So if you are high income or medium income, you can look at the median household income and see where similar people to you are living. If you have a family where you're trying to fly somewhere, then you want to be near an airport. There is this website, Flight Connections, that shows you the direct flights out of the airport that you fly out of. So you can see the frequency and the density of flights. So if you fly to Chicago a lot, you want to see the place that you select can fly to Chicago direct. Local media. So everything is moved online these days. You can know what's happening locally in any town in the United States from thousands of miles away. We have a street repavement project. I get the information on the progress on when the roads will reopen online, and you can understand that from anywhere. So TV and radio stations, you can subscribe. They usually have an introduction deal, 3 months for $10 or something. A lot of information are free. Then you can see what are people talking about in that area. And Facebook groups too. So usually any place there is a Facebook group you can join. You can see, ask local people what's going on there, just to observe. You can understand an area pretty well just by using these media resources. Um, if you want to, you're really interested in a place, you want to identify some neighborhoods, you can look at Zillow, Redfin listings and look at home prices. Again, um, depending on your affordability, um, without knowing anything, just looking at home prices, that tells you a lot. Again, people vote by their wallet. If within the city, Southwest, home prices in Southwest are more expensive than Northeast, then you can probably understand that's probably a safer area, more desirable area. And then down to the hyperlocal places, so Google Maps shows you where the hospitals are, where the stores are. Pick out some hours in early commute hours, look at Google Map traffic, see where the traffic jams are or how busy the traffics are. Look at satellite view, uh, down to neighborhood and the street view. You can just do a virtual walk uh, around the neighborhood and see what the houses look like, how the streets look like. And finally, nothing beats field trips. So if you're down to 2 or 3 candidates, make some field trips and book a week of hotel or Airbnb, drive around, you can understand the area there. So just sharing my personal journey. The first stop that out of California, when we were thinking where we go, we chose Reno, Reno, Nevada. For those, again, people in Sacramento, San Jose, you know where Reno is. It's right across the border. It's near Lake Tahoe. We chose this area because, again, we were looking for places that are closer for skiing in the winter and hiking in the summer. So when we were working in San Jose, we went to Lake Tahoe for skiing. So Reno is much closer to Lake Tahoe. In the summer, we went to Yosemite and Eastern Sierra for backpacking and hiking. So again, Reno, it's much closer. So we chose there. Um, we chose a place here in south part of Reno. The mailing address is Reno, but it's technically outside of the city limit. It's within the unincorporated area of Washoe County. Um, it's closer to, as a medium-sized city with Reno and Sparks, 400,000 in population. So it has all kinds of chain stores. So Home Depot is here, uh, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are here. Uh, Costco is here. There's a regional airport. It's about 20 minutes away. Doesn't have a lot of direct flight, but you can have a connecting flights. Pretty close to hiking around here, about 10-15 minutes of driving. There's a small ski area here, Mount Rose, about 30 minutes from where we live. So again, we chose here because it's closer to skiing here and hiking here, and also away from the downtown area where they have some crime problems. Um, Farther away here, there are California ski resorts. North Star is here, Palisade Tahoe is here. So we drive just along this way. It's about an hour. Um, so there's another blogger that I followed during that time, and she chose to live in Truckee, California, on this side. Truckee is more rural. It's closer to skiing, so here it's about 15-20 minutes versus 1 hour from here from Reno. But it's more rural, so no chain stores. So if you want to go to Costco, you have to drive all this way to Reno. Costco is here. And hospitals are also in here. So just a different feel. When we were making the choice, because we live in San Jose, 1 million people, large city, all kinds of convenience, we were still tethered to the convenience. So we chose on this side. It's a 1 hour to skiing, but 20 minutes to every day in terms of shopping and going to doctors and whatnot. So why did we move from Reno? So life in Reno was good. We cut down our driving to skiing from 4 hours, 5 hours from San Jose to 1 hour from Reno. Um, we took advantage of it. We joined uh, the ski training program there. Palisade Tahoe has a program where you can sign up and you get unlimited ski lessons. So every day you show up, you can get a half day ski lesson in the morning and then you practice in the afternoon. So we were going there a lot. I think we took 30 ski lessons that season. So we improved our skills greatly. Um, but it was during pandemic. We moved right before pandemic, but then pandemic happened. So a lot of people have second homes in Lake Tahoe area, so they moved into their second homes, and then the ski resorts are becoming crowded. And also during that 1 year, we did a lot of activities. We did a lot of hiking, a lot of walking, backpacking in the Sierra area, and then we sort of already know the area very well, so we were looking for maybe we can move to a new area to have some new adventure. So the next state over from Nevada to the east is Utah. So we chose Utah because Utah also has good skiing and hiking. We toured Utah all around this line. So here, in Utah, there's a mountain called Wasatch Mountains. On this side is called Wasatch Front, and this side is called Wasatch Back. So we were looking for in Alpine Highland area, Sandy Draper area, up north in Ogden area, and then we finally came back to Wasatch Back, and then we chose a small city called Midway, Utah. You can say it's a Utah version of Truckee. It's closer to skiing, but it's farther away from the convenience of shopping. So we chose here. There are tons of hiking and biking and skiing area. The closest ski area is here, about 15 minutes from our home. But for shopping, you go to Home Depot, it's farther away than skiing. Um, then if you go to Costco, it's along this road. It's about 26 miles to Costco. So really far away, just a different way of life. There is a Walmart 5 miles away in a neighboring city. No, so we go to Walmart a lot. That's just a trade-off. Different size of cities. I lived in large city in San Jose, 1 million people. Reno, Sparks, 400,000. Midway, 6,000. Um, we have one stoplight in the entire town, two gas stations, and one local grocery store, and that's it. The reason that we chose here is because of all the activities. So this is a playhouse in our neighborhood, children's playhouse. They have some slides inside this barn. It says run, hike, ski, swim, ride. So that basically tells you the spirit of Midway. It's also missing fishing, water sports such as kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, because there are two reservoirs around here, so people do water sports on these reservoirs. So here's my home in Midway. Um, the closest hiking is about 5 minutes drive, 10 minutes drive from my home. Closest biking place, I can bike to here from my home directly to here. Um, Closest skiing, more skiing around here. So just all kinds of activities that we like. We moved here because of skiing. These ski resorts are here. But then we also discovered a cross-country skiing facility right here, 15 minutes from our home. We never cross-country skied before, but we pick it up, we join the program, and now we ski more days cross-country than downhill skiing. Um, Last year, a neighbor gave away a bike from the curb, saying with the sign says free. I picked up, I pumped some air in it. I never biked before. I rode around the neighborhood, and I discovered this. There is a bike path along this reservoir. It's about an hour to the end, an hour going back. So with that free bike, I was doing biking around. Really nice. So this summer I bought a real bike and we were doing more bikes here, 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 and here. So at this pace, we came for skiing, downhill skiing and hiking, and now we're already doing more cross-country skiing, and I foresee that I'll probably do more biking days than hiking days, because with biking you can cover a longer distance in a shorter time. So we bought a house here. When I posted this picture after we moved into our house, so this is the common HOA common area for our neighborhood. So each house has a little bit backyard, but then this whole large land belongs to the HOA. So I posted this picture when a blog reader said it looks like cow country. And then she went on to say that she prefers places with all kinds of international ethnic cuisines. We don't have it here. So that just tells you different strokes for different folks. We came here because of hiking and skiing closer to nature and mountain views and whatnot. But if you prefer international cuisine, then you pick metropolitan areas with international cuisines. And in terms of cows, she is exactly right. We have these cows within walking distance from my home. Um, and that those cows are, so this is a photo from my front door. I have this little hill from here. Takes about 15-20 minutes to walk up the hill. There are some flagpoles on top of the hill. So when I'm stuck writing something or I would just want to take a break, I walk out of my front door and walk up to that little hill. And those cows are at the foot of this hill. And in addition to cows, we also have these lovely goats at the same place. After you walk up to that little hill, you see this view. And this is the reservoir. This is the bike path I was talking about. So I basically start from here and then goes along the reservoir. And when you bike, this is the view you see going along the reservoir. That's the background that you see on my zoom. Fall colors are amazing. So in about 2 weeks, it's gonna look like this. So all these things are absolutely free. Walking up the hill, looking at cows, baby cows or baby goats. Uh, so I'm showing all these not because I'm auditioning for a spokesperson position for Midway Chamber of Commerce, because I'm showing these because I want to let everybody remember the living part of cost of living. So there are two sides of cost of living. There's living and cost. So living should come first and the cost comes second. If you pick your living, then you manage the cost. Within any area, you can live large or you can live small. There are places are expensive in general, but you can find less expensive options within that place. So you want to pick a place that's suitable for you, then based on your budget, pick where what kind of housing you want, or even how far. If Midway is too expensive, there are neighboring towns that are less expensive too. Um, Utah is famous for its national parks. It has 5 national parks called the Mighty Five. I've been here 3 years. I haven't visited any of them because I have plenty of options locally. I don't have to. I don't have to go there. I booked vacation in August to Italy. When the days came clear, I canceled it because I was just enjoying myself locally. And I said to myself, why do I want to get into a crowded plane and fight with tourists, booking, living in hotels and all that, when my bed is plenty comfortable. I'm comfortable here. So so that means just to me, the everyday experience is much more enjoyable than just traveling the world. Um, you still travel, but you travel less days than you stay locally. So I'm here 300 days or more than 300 days of a year. You travel, maybe you travel a month out of a year, and that's a lot already. Um, when you emphasize the living part, then you will have a strong and clear reason why you're moving somewhere or why you're choosing to stay somewhere because of family or because of activities, then not because of only somewhere is has a lower cost of living. So to me, putting the cost in front of living is just backwards. I had a reader email me and ask me, do I have a resource to compare the total tax impact for retired seniors, taking into account the income tax, uh, including tax on Social Security, sales tax, including exemptions on food or prescription drugs, and property tax, and including any senior exemptions. I said, no, I don't have such a resource, and I don't think that such resource is necessary because picking where you live by the taxes or even by cost is just backwards. You're a retiree. You're not an economic refugee. You're not just going where the cost of living is lower. It's okay to consider cost. You can consider if you have two or three places that you're equally uh, uh, that you like equally, then you use the cost as a tiebreaker. That's okay, but don't use that as your first cut selection criterion. So we end up in a place that we like. We enjoyed here, but it wasn't all smooth. The reason I come here, and also I want to tell everybody to avoid my mistakes. Um, the first mistake is that I took a year after we decided on our new location. So in February of 2019, we already decided that we wanted to move to Reno, Nevada, but we didn't move until March 1, 2020. So that year is just unnecessary. I want that year back. The sooner that we moved, we could have enjoyed the new life much sooner. And then the second mistake was that we chose renting over buying during the 4 years between 2020 and December 2023 when we finally moved into our house. Renting worsened our quality of life, added a lot of stress, and also end up costing more than $500,000 when we finally moved into our house. So thinking backwards around these mistakes, um, I think Bogleheads are more likely to make these mistakes because as Bogleheads, we're more in tune to financial things. We are more financially responsible. We tend to see it more from a financial angle. And also because we read financial articles, financial blogs, participate in financial forums, it tends to form an echo chamber. We see things, people saying things. We tend to just accept them as quote unquote rules. That's just the way it is. We stop questioning whether those rules apply, what situations those rules apply. Do those rules apply to us or do they apply to somebody else? Um, as somebody said, it ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. So take that into your consideration when you think of any rules. So why did we take a year to move to Reno? Because I was following these rules. Rent for at least a year in the new area before you buy. Don't buy a home unless you stay for 5+ years. I've seen 7+ years or 10+ years. These rules sound good, but they don't necessarily apply to a retiree. Um, First of all, I think these rules originated before the internet. So before the internet, if you were trying to move to somewhere, you don't have as much information about the area. So if you jump into buying a home there, you may buy it wrong in the wrong neighborhood, or uh, that's not something that you want. Um, it also assumes, just saying that you should rent a year assumes that you can rent. You can rent the same house side by side in the same neighborhood. Here's a house for rent. Here's a house you can buy. You just rent, you buy. It's a financial decision. That's not necessarily the case. Also, if you rent a year before you move, that by definition makes you move twice. You first move into the rental, and then you move to the house that you own. Um, Moving is not cost-free, is not stress-free. I don't know about you. I moved 4 times. Every time you pack, you hire movers, and you unpack. You don't know where your things are. Um, and also, it takes you out of the residential real estate market. So you rent a year, at least a year, then you're not owning that house, right? And then you're buying that house. During this year, you're not in the market. It's like saying when you change employers, you roll over your 401k from your previous employer to the next employer. You should put your money in cash and study the menu options of your new 401k for a year before you invest. So it's just not necessary, in my view. Um, if we adopt our new lens, prioritize life over money, so you should put your life first. So if you intend to rent because you don't want maintenance, you just want a downtown condo, then you just go directly to rent. If you still desire to own a single family home, then you should probably just go directly, skip renting and go directly to buying. With the internet, you can remotely research a whole lot of things, and then you do some field trips, and you can just know a new area a lot more than what you would have known before the internet. The idea is that you want to avoid a disaster. You don't necessarily want to have the perfect house. So even if there is something that you didn't know completely 100%, that you bought a house, that's still okay. It's not going to be a disaster. So you probably heard the saying that every job looks easy until you're the one trying to do it. So that was the case to me. I was following the rule renting a year before I buy, and it turned out it was more difficult to rent than to buy. That's why it took a year. The first reason was rentals in general have lower quality than for sale housing. So if you buy, and then you have wider selection. If you rent, if you care about rental quality at all, then it's much more difficult to find a rental house that's comparable to a house that you could buy. This is because if you have a good home, you have it commands premium prices from people who are buying it, so it has a lower ROI as rentals. And once a home becomes a rental, then the owners don't put a lot of care into it, because then it just gets destroyed by renters. The renters don't have a lot of incentive to maintain the home to a top shape either. So usually the home that you see as rentals, they also have to appeal to renters that have lower income. So the quality tends to be less. Um, And then the next thing I discovered while I was looking for rental is that buying is a transaction and renting is a relationship. When you buy the home, the owners are gone. They don't care what you do with the home. When you're renting the home, the owners still own it. Getting a bad renter, spells trouble to the owners. So there's a continuous relationship between the tenant and the owner. The owners don't necessarily just rent to whoever is willing to pay the highest price. They, if you're a smart owner, you would price your rental to have multiple applicants, and then you choose the best renter based on the price, based on the same price. Then you don't want a bad renter, because if you get a bad renter in, they pay you 1 month and then they stop paying, then it's more trouble than getting them out of the rental. You get into a rental that, because it's a relationship, the owners own the home. It's not like you can stay however long you want. The rentals usually come with annual leases. Um, you rent a year. When the year comes along, you you can ask for renewal, but that's not always the case. So when we get into our first rental, half a year into the lease, the owner notified us saying that he wants to move into the house himself. So he said, absolutely, there won't be any renewal. Find some home. So he was kind enough to give us way ahead advance notice. Otherwise, according to rental terms, he only has to give us 30-day notice. If you only have 30-day notice to find a rental, maybe you want to try it to see how hard it is to find a rental within 30 days. Um, Also, uh, because the owner owns the home, there are these renewal, the owner sets the term. If anything goes wrong, you don't like the place, or the owners jack up the rent too much, your only recourse is to move. Again, we're talking about packing, hiring rental, hiring movers, unpacking, and finding another rental. Costs money and stress. So in our rental in Utah, our before we moved into our home, after a year, the owner said, we got to raise your rent by 25%. 25% after 1 year. What choices did I have? Uh, I have to say, can you lower it? And say, okay, I'll give you $50. So I have no choice. I had to accept it. Otherwise, I'm talking about hiring movers again. Didn't want to do that. When we were moving into the house that we own, because we were building a new home, the completion date is about 3 months after the lease renewal date. We had to beg the owner, can we have a month-to-month lease? Again, the owner doesn't have to grant us. The owner can say, I only have 1 year lease, no month to month. If you don't like it, you can move. Fortunately, we were successful that time. Um, that was okay, but it was not assured. So adds a lot of stress. Um, Again, if we see it from prioritizing life over money, then I would say favor buying. You have a wider selection, you have better quality in general. Then most important is that you maintain your autonomy. You own the home, you move whenever you want to move. Nobody can force you to move. When we see topics of renting versus buying on Bogleheads forum, uh, probably pretty quickly people would come up with there's this buy or rent calculator. Um, you can calculate whether it's more financially beneficial to buy or rent. So, but this ignores the reality of renting. Most people you see recommending renting, they're not renters themselves. I know one particular Bogleheads forum poster that he has a very strict buy or rent calculation. By his criteria, nobody should buy based on the prices. But he himself is not selling his house to rent, even though based on the prices of his home versus the rent in his area. So that just means you're just talking about renting in abstract. You're not talking about these issues of autonomy, quality. You're just talking about financial. So again, that's backwards, putting money ahead of life, ahead of living. I found this study from Pew Research Center. It says based on the income quartile, the top 25% in terms of income, 89.5% of people own versus 10.5% rent. And then the 25% cutoff is $135,000 a year. And in terms of net worth, once you get into the top half of net worth, about 90% own their home. So again, people with higher income and higher net worth, and I imagine those are most of the audience here, they own for a reason. They're not consulting the buy and rent calculator to sell their home and rent just because the buy or rent calculator says so. So again, I would say prioritize life over money, whichever gives you quality of life and autonomy, go with that. Whether buying or renting costs more money, it's really beside the point. So if I posted on the Bogleheads forum when we were doing this back in 2020, I said I'm selling my home. I'm going to some places, moving to try to find where my final retirement place would be. Maybe in 3 or 4 years, I'll buy a home. What should I do with the money that I put the money I got from selling my home? Then I imagine we would find this rule that says money that will be spent in a few years should be kept safely in a money market fund, savings account, or CDs. You probably agree. The reason for this rule is that money, if it's invested in the market in a few years, it's never guaranteed that you have a positive return. It's possible that you run into a bear market, that you get a loss from the money. So that's why it should be kept in safely in a money market, savings account, or CDs. So what happened during these years? Um, so we built a house. We paid for the construction throughout the year. We moved it in December. We started paying in January. So I just picked June as the midpoint. In those years, Case-Shiller National Home Price Index rose 40%. Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund rose 50%. iShares Home Construction ETF has companies that related to home construction rose 102%. Money market fund rose 4%. So this just tells you any rule that you see that's designed to protect you from one risk that expose you to other risks, right? So any rule that you see, you should ask, what is this rule designed to protect, and what risks does it expose? How it can go wrong? It's because it's never just one-sided. And if you identify all the risk, ask yourself, which risk are you better prepared to handle? So if I sold my home, let's say $1 million, California real estate is expensive. If I invested that money, it went down 20% during those years, and I'm trying to buy another home. What should I do? Can I put down 20% and borrow the rest and wait for the money to recover? Can I buy a less expensive home because I'm moving from a more expensive area to a less expensive area? Those, or if I put it into CDs and the cost of housing rose 40%, what should I do? Should I just not buy that home or wait until the house prices come down? Is there any indication that home prices will come down? So you just have to really ask yourself, what kind of risks are you more prepared to bear? Because that's different for different people. If you're talking about a first-time home buyer, they're saving their home down payment, and you get a bear market that you're not able to buy your home, period, because you were going to borrow the rest of the money anyway. Now your down payment is gone. Then it's one kind of risk versus you have 100% of your home proceeds and you're trying to buy another home. You were planning to buy that home 100% with cash, but buying with 80% of cash, that's perfectly okay. That doesn't change your life. And finally, you ask the question, is there any way that I can avoid this risk? So if you own a home, you sell your home, and then you just buy a home directly, then you're in that market. It doesn't matter home prices, how home prices would move. If home prices go down, then you sold your home low, you buy your home low. If home prices go up, then your new home will go up too. So you stay in the market, then you would avoid this timing issue. Um, these days, people have low rate mortgages. I see some people ask if I'm moving somewhere, I'm buying a new home, I don't need the cash from that home. Should I sell my home or rent it out? Um, this is a mirror image of buy or rent. So if people using the buy or rent calculator saying rent is more financially beneficial, that means renting out as an owner is not that great. So you can assess the financial impact using a buy or rent calculator. Just read the results oppositely. Um, if you're not buying a home, keeping your home, renting it out, that keeps you in the real estate market. So then you don't suffer this timing issues. That's also a consideration. If you do rent your home, then you should be aware of this tax exemption. So selling your home a primary residence, you have $250,000 of exemption of capital gains as a single, or $500,000 of tax exemption as married filing jointly. It requires that the home is a primary residence 2 years out of 5. So if you're renting your home out, maximum you can rent it out 3 years and still preserve this tax exemption. Otherwise, if you rent it too long, then you lose this exemption. Um, if we look at it from prioritizing money, a life over money, then if you don't want to be a landlord, and just sell it and pay taxes and move on. So I would recommend doing that unless you want to rent your home out. Because usually the homes that we own are not necessarily a good candidate for rentals because it's too expensive. Um, Today I'm presenting to Californians, so I just have this one slide for Californians. Doesn't apply to people elsewhere. There's this myth on the internet saying that the state of California doesn't want you to leave. They will keep hounding you, wanting you to tax you, wanting to charge you for vehicles or driver's license and whatnot. I didn't find that was the case to me. So if you're really leaving California, then it, don't have to worry about that. But you do need to remember to cancel or change your address for everything that you have. Just sever your connection with California. So driver's license, usually when you apply for a new driver's license in a new state, then your new state would notify the DMV of your previous state to cancel your driver's license. Vehicle registration, you have to do it yourself, at least in Nevada. And when we first moved to Nevada, Nevada won't notify California about your vehicle. So you have to notify California DMV that you're moving out of state. Voter registration, again, you cancel it with your local county voter registration. Your auto insurance is by state. So if you have to get new auto insurance in your new state, health insurance, property tax. So just look at all your records, everything that you have with California, put in a change of address or just cancel it. So on the DMV change of address form, so there is driver's license change of address and there is a vehicle change of address. There's a specific box that you can check. Just say my vehicle is registered outside of California, then the California DMV won't send you notices wanting you to renew your vehicle license fees. The plates, California doesn't care about the plates. You can keep the plates and just throw them away. And finally, if you move out of California, there's one part year. So you're a part year resident in California. You just file that part year resident, giving your last date in California, and that should do it. I never had any California agency contact me after I left. So this is the last slide in my presentation. I hope everybody should familiar with this now. Prioritize life over money. So go where you want to go. That's life. Stay where you want to stay. So if you have family, you have friends, connections in your current place, just stay. If you have family elsewhere, you came to where you're currently at because of jobs and your family is in wherever you want to reunite with your family, just go there. Don't drive the decision by costs or taxes, like I was saying before. And don't overanalyze. I took a year to move to Reno. I You don't want to just analyze 100 places in the country and see where you want to go. You want to go in the right direction. Reno was the right direction, even though we moved away from it. We still liked it. It was part of our journey, it was part of our life adventure. I don't mind living there. If you do find another place that's better, that's perfectly okay. So once again, you want to emphasize timeliness and quality of life. Just sitting at home analyzing, trying to find the best place, probably not the best way to do it. Whichever place that gives you a higher quality of life, that should be the place that you go. Any rules that you see that you should examine who those rules are for, whether those rules are for you. And finally, don't time the real estate market. I didn't time the real estate intentionally time the real estate market. The real estate market timed me, but the results are the same. So if I would do this again, I would just sell my home, buy a home in Reno, live there. If I find a better place, I wanted to move to Utah, I would sell my home in Reno, and then I would buy a home in Utah, and that was it. So ironically, I would say Bogleheads tend to make this mistake because Bogleheads are more attuned to these cost issues. Non-Bogleheads, they're probably they have a less tendency to make mistakes. You own a home, you buy a home, and that's just easy. So we will go through comments and questions. If you have more questions that we can address in this session, then I have my contacts there.